Hey viewers, welcome to another game of the Casual Pro Gamer. Today we're doing game number 4. Yeah, this is game number 4 between Liquid HerO, as you might have already noticed, as the Terran Protoss. As the Protoss in the top left and Revival, or e.g. Revival, as the Zerg in the bottom right. So HerO versus Revival. As I said, this is game number 4. I'm not going to spoil the other games for you for now, but in the end of this game I will have to spoil it, because it might be so that this is actually the last game. Anyway, if it is the last game, I am going to add anti-spoiler videos to reach the 7. And yeah, you don't have to watch those, of course. But yeah, normally I do recommend that you watch them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And yeah, oh, just too late to actually disrupt that. He wanted to disrupt that that base from going down, but it was too late. I should have sent out his probe a little bit earlier, and he is now being chased. Oh wow, are we going to see some pylon action here? That would be pretty cool. Let's see if he actually has that forge up already. No, the forge still needs to go down. So the pylon is up, and we are going to see plenty of drones to deal with this. So he ships them over to this base for now to mine, or at least what seems to be to mine. But it is also to be here when this this base is going to go, or this possible cannon is going up. And if it goes up, then yeah, he will try to do that again. Or sorry, attack it with these things and try to prevent that from happening. Because obviously that is what you do. So some Zerglings out, 2 of them here, 2 of them there. And well, one of them is going to take down this pylon. So yeah, not too expensive. I mean, 100 minerals is not really something that you want to lose early game, but it's also, if it is part of your strategy or your possible strategy, then yeah, you can waste 100 minerals. It's not too big of a deal. Anyhow, as you can see, the cybernetic score coming up, making the entire base kind of Zergling proof. Because this cannon will take out the Zerglings if they come in and try to attack this probe, because that's the only one they can actually kill. And wow, seriously? Oh, he wants to drag it in. See, it does run after the probe like one step, and if it does one step enough, then yeah, eventually it will get into the range of the cannon. And it will deny the vision, and that's exactly what he wanted that to do. So the probe is going to go out, and it's going to get killed here by the Zerglings. But what is he trying to do? Is he trying to scout? Or he's trying to see whether there's a base up over here. And he will manage to do so. Very nice. Very nice. He does get the scouting information. Sees there is a 3rd base up, knowing that, well, that your opponent is 1 base over you is pretty important, and definitely worth the sacrifice of that 1 drone. Sorry, probe. It's not a big deal in that regard. So the warp gate research underway. The gateway, well, producing some sentries now, and after the sentry probably stalker, but well, that's all up to what he thinks is coming his way. Another pylon going up. That is starting to become a very tight little pathway, but it does make it a little bit easier for the sentries to defend this. But obviously, normally sentries defend in front of the buildings with their force fields and not, well, inside, I guess. There is no 2nd unit, well, 3rd unit, I guess, coming up, and I don't know why. This warp gate research is still a long way away. He could have done another stalker, and I guess he wants to produce the Phoenix instead of, well, the normal stalker. And yeah, if you if this is your first game you watched from this series, you might want to check out game number 3, which is the previous game. because that was actually a really good one. So I will say that. And we do have 3 Phoenixes out already. That's a pretty big amount. So already has 3 Phoenixes out, and those are going to just hunt 4 Phoenixes now. They produce pretty quickly, but they are going to hunt for overlords. And yeah, he does find the Zerg army here. And is he prepared for this? Because he is going to take out a few of the roaches, but there is no way he can hold this off with just those guys. And yeah, the force field goes down. As I said, normally you don't want to defend over there, but well, sometimes you have to. The force field goes down once again, and that's why he built that second pylon there. But the cannon comes up, and is it going to be defendable? Because, well, now we have a Void Ray out, we have sentries out, and this should be, yeah, it is defendable, but it's not great. Obviously, losing a few roaches for this much damage in the early game is definitely worth it. So the forge comes back up. He will need to rebuild his cybernetics core as well. Yeah, he didn't do that yet, so not having that is going to hurt him pretty hard. Oh, it is coming up already somewhere. Apparently on my screen. There it is. It's all the way in the back. Didn't want to lose that again. And he is still chasing those units. Obviously, I'm not going to lift off those units, but you can actually lift off the queen. He will wait a little bit to get his Void Ray in range, so that he can actually attack with them. And are we going to go in? No, he did not lift off the queen. Did he? Oh, yeah, he built spore crawlers. Spore crawlers are very efficient at keeping away small airplanes like these, or small air units, I should say, like these Phoenixes. And, well, the Void Ray, yeah, it can take quite a bit more damage, and therefore not as big of a deal to deal with the spore crawler, especially if it's only one. But we are getting in here. We are going to pick off some of the units, but yeah, then have to retreat. Another Phoenix coming up. He is really going for that big army. He only has 6 though, so he lost a couple, but that is quite alright. And we are going to see here that the big army from our Protoss player is going to be over here. And he's going to try to march out. The Zerg, however, does have a scout over here. He's not going to see this army, but he is going to be able to scout around in a little bit and not get disrupted by that. So once again, we see Hydralisk coming up. Hydralisk also always the counter to air units, although they're not the most brilliant counter that Zerg has, because if your enemy is going for heavy air units, especially if there are Phoenixes involved, most of the time it's best to go with the Corruptors, because the Corruptors are just so good. They're just, yeah, they're just excellent units. And this drone is just going to march out. Nobody cares about him. Just freely getting out of there, no problem. And we are going to lift some more Hydralisks. Is he going to be able to pick off all of these? Because, well, Hydralisks are pretty expensive. As in, they cost quite a bit of minerals and a little bit of gas, but also they take up yeah, a lot of space in your supply, and that is a big deal. So also they take up 1 larva, of course. And yeah, everything that takes up a larva is kind of, well, it kind of has to carry its own weight. And because here you have a lot of larvae, and it's kind of not worth it if they get picked off this easily. And no, they do get out. They do get out for now, but they need to move out a little bit further. However, we have some Stalkers over here now. Stalkers can deal with those Hydralisks pretty well, especially if they blink. They do not at the moment, but if they have blink, they will do that quite nicely. And we are going to get into this base, probably just harassing a little bit, just doing its thing. and getting a few of the drones. It is 93 now in, well, the workers killed, which is not a really big problem. I mean, by the time it gets to 25, it becomes a problem, but still, it's not very fun to have this. But it does happen sometimes. So, yeah, some Mutalisk scouts, but Mutalisk not really good anti-air. They are reasonable against the Zealots, although they do not really kill them quickly enough. They're just plain bad against the Stalker, so I don't know why he's going for that. I guess he wants to go for the worker harass or something like that. But yeah, it's not great. It's not great. So here we see that the Colossus actually will do a pretty nice job of cleaning that up. They do have extra range here, range 9. Which is huge, which means that they always get the first shot in, and as you can see, they do not die very easily when there's an army in front of them, unless you have Corruptors. Corruptors finally out. He only has 3 though, 4, sorry. He only has 4, and yeah, there are so many air units to deal with that it's going to be a real problem. Oh, recall! Oh, so strong. Yeah, the recall comes in and gets everyone out of there safely. So even though the defense was pretty good in the end, yeah, once the Protoss player saw, well, I'm not going to win this probably. Let's just stop this fight. He indeed stopped the fight and just recalled to his base, has his entire army still to play with. And all of these guys are going to go down. Of course, there are more Zealots over here. And that one Zealot is going to get caught if it runs like that. Yeah, the base does get rebuilt, but losing a base like that is always very painful. It is now 3 bases versus 3 bases, and I'm talking running bases. So this one isn't running, this one isn't running. So that means that our Protoss player has an advantage here. And if he can keep that up, that is going to be awesome. And now we have some Corruptors out, so now he can actually say, well, let's take the fight to the enemy and screw him with his air units. Of course, our Protoss player can just say, well, I'm not going to build air units, I'm just going to build some Colossi, and that's it. But the Colossi, yeah, they're just there because, well, his opponent is going for a lot of small units, so the small ground units. And Colossi are just too good to just let go. And yeah, that's exactly what's happening here. So the Warp Prism is going to go down. It is not going to live to fight another day. And we are going to clean up this base, I assume. But we'll have to see how that works out, because the Mothership Core is here now. There are several of these Phoenixes. There are several Stalkers as well, so he should be able to take care of well, just about anything that, well, his opponent throws at him air-wise. The thing is, of course, well, the Colossi can clean up the rest, so yeah, so you don't need anything else. The Colossi are so strong at dealing with that. Now there is Blink on the Stalkers. Blink will refresh like every 10 seconds or something. Yep, yeah. Every 10 seconds, and you can actually deal quite a bit of damage. As you can see, the Zerglings making a whole mess of this, but they're not getting anything done. It looks like a whole mess of them, but they're not doing anything. They're just attacking that one Zealot that is in there, unless you control them to do something else, and obviously that doesn't happen in this case because, well, he didn't have the APM to do so. And once again, because now I'm going to have to spoil it for you, because this was not the last game. Once again, the air army triumphs over the ground army of his enemy. And even though it was a better fight this time, last game it was less of a fight. But yeah, you couldn't really make it work in the end. The Protoss player just has too much, well, too much stuff basically that flies, and he couldn't make it work, and therefore 2 bases, or in this case, well, yeah, still 2 bases, and only 1 drone here. So 2 bases versus 3 is obviously, or well, 4th coming up, is not going to work. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you for game number 5 of, as I said, a best of 7. And yeah, I will see you next time. Otherwise, GG.